hop là, me revoilà. On va pouvoir continuer Disco Elysium, l'aventure, l'enquête sur les hardis. Hop là. C'est arrêté hier, j'avais plus trop de pistes où aller. Board spécial. Faut le trouver dans la cuisine. Ouais, on va enquêter sur la bouffe du Willing in Rag. Vu qu'on n'a pas d'autres trucs à faire que j'ai en tête. À 19h. 19h20, il faudra que j'aille voir les dés. Hop, avec de l'argent, mais j'en ai, ça c'est bon. Je risque de vendre les points en vrai. Est-ce que avec René je peux
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabiner do for you?
Ah oui, c'est vrai, j'ai un nouveau lancer de poids. Je vous ai dit ici une boule, sortir la boule.
What is this? Are you mocking us? This isn't for pétanque.
Ah.
Now, no need to get angry again, René. I'm sure the officer tried his best. It's not like there's a bull kiosk here in Martinez.
En avril, je n'ai un toit de mieux.
The best, huh? This isn't even a bull. But fine. I guess you did attempt to right your hooliganism. Consider it forgiven.
Vous pouvez me dire quelque chose à propos de ce fusil exhibé là en antique?
It's a Bell McGrave. 4.46 caliber. Breech loading. Revachol made. Good weapon. Accurate and reliable. This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. Where did you find her?
Au sol là-bas, désigné à la librairie.
I'm not surprised. There are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around here. Back in the day, everyone had something stashed away. As for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you. These BM446s are an antique. No one uses them anymore. The ammunition is impossible to find.
Ok, j'ai vu la statue de Philippe III pas loin.
Ah, yes! King Philip III, on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who knows how to rule.
Quand devrait régner un roi légitime?
Decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood.
Je pense que le chef devrait passer l'intérêt de son peuple en aussi.
A nation is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such madness to try to...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
The carabiner doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates unbreakable resolve. No one and nothing can change this man's mind. He is as rigid as they come, still in that antique uniform. It's a symbol for him.
Right.
Allez, on va retenter. Hop.
Still.
Anything else I can assist you with?
Hop, tant pis. On aura récupéré des objets pour lui, c'est déjà ça. Hop. On aura remplacé la boule de pétanque, le truc qui vaut 12 €. J'aurais dû peut-être le vendre plutôt. Hop.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Vous savez ce qui se trouve derrière cette porte?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
Léo a dit que vous étiez ami avec Manama. Manana. C'est vrai ça?
The mention of Manana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends.
Y'a quoi dans ce borge que vous mijotez?
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait for you to speak.
Désolé, je comprends pas.
Just one word. Sounds quizzical. Then he awaits your answer, with his brow arched.
Oui.
Boss need more vodka? Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Of course, vodka. Now that makes a very, very special borscht indeed. Turn it up and then ask for some yourself. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
Peut le trouver dans le mener l'enquête. Et Franco, non, pas de la vodka, ça. Les mollo.
The cook gives you a long, disappointed look, then turns the stove off and seems to wait for you to speak.
Ok.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
C'est rare que pas de votre
I
broche.
hope you were able to
Voilà,
pawn
mettre
that
un
old
gage, votre
trinket.
broche, je suis derrière la broche.
Oh, thank you, dear. I confess I am glad to see it again.
Even the lieutenant seems happy with this turn of events.
Now, what else, sweetie?
Votre mari est-il scientifique?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
C'est quoi la cryptozoologie?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
She's used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles.
Faudrait peut-être quand même
They
de vous
are,
parler de cryptides, cool.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her
Petite
work.
Léna, vous pourriez me
Go
dire
on
plus,
and ask.
dire plus sur 2-3 cryptides que vous étudiez?
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza.
D'accord, juste un petit cryptide, c'est promis.
He nods and assumes a waiting posture. Cryptids, cryptids. Let's hear about all the interesting cryptids.
Quel est le cryptide le plus dangereux?
The gnome of Jeroma.
Quel nom terrifiant.
Oh, yes. None of its victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue.
Quoi ressemblait ce cryptide?
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a gangly little thing. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it. It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die.
Ah oui, d'accord.
If the body of the creature was found, why aren't there detailed illustrations of it in science textbooks, confirming the existence of this very little species?
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking
Ça l'a fait
that
fondre,
would
je suis sûr.
detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
Quel est le plus petit cryptide?
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid.
Bon, très bien.
He nods approvingly.
Tout pour le moment, madame. Je prends mon congé. Hop.
Honorable one, you've accumulated a substantial amount of honor points on your life path. You are a man most virtuous.
J'essaye d'agir au mieux comme tout un chacun.
Oh, the modesty on this one. Another 10 honor points for you, sir. You are on the fast track to becoming one of the rarest, most revered of all police officers, an honor cop.
Je ne vis que pour l'honneur.
Yes, Your deeds are spoken for you, Honorable One. But to fully drape oneself in an eternal cloak of honor, a ritual must be completed. A rite of honor. Even among the honorable, only the most dignified are deemed worthy. But you, O Honorable One, have excelled in honor. Honor comes from deep within you, and to truly know oneself, to know one's honor, one must reach deep within oneself and touch. You need to bring the thumb of your right hand, your sword hand, to your rectum and stick it in there to form the Arch of Honors.
Oh, si quelqu'un me voyait, tout ce que je vis, c'est dans l'idée, moi, avec un enfier votre pouce dans votre anus. Je crois vraiment que j'en fais, pardon, et si quelqu'un me voyait.
Then they will witness honor so great. It seems nigh impossible a single man can contain it. They will admire you, Honorable One.
Enfin, c'est pas moyen. Ah, c'est tout ce que je veux, c'est vivre dans la dignité et mourir avec l'honneur.
What are you doing?
Je m'honore moi-même, lieutenant. Rien, vous pouvez pas prendre ça, je sais pas. Je m'honore moi-même, lieutenant.
Well, don't! Have you no self-control? Please spare me this sight.
The lieutenant is a noble man, but he does not know honor like you and I do. Best not to waste time trying to explain. Congratulations, Honorable One. You have become a member of a noble faculty. A man kneels, an honor cop rises. Go forth and commit even more honorable deeds. And should your resolve ever waver, remember the right of honor. It will always cleanse a man's soul. It is an honor to serve with you, honor cop.
Glande honorifique subproductrice. Réflexion obtenue. C'est un honneur de servir des flics honorables. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Art dramatique -4. Oh non, mensonge. Oh là 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 là. Il me faut un autre point de talent après. Aïe 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 aïe. Que je regarde, c'est quoi le message? Il faudra que je regarde ça après. Hop. Toi, je t'ai déjà parlé. On va reparler aux racistes. S'il y a des choses à dire en plus.
Looking for something, Runt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
Mais non, bateau, fallait cracher le morceau de la
I
conductrice.
don't know what you're talking about.
Pensez, vous savez, de s'il a une rien à voir là-dedans.
He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another lorryman's job. You should be thankful for the tip.
He's been expecting this. He's really puffed himself up.
Alors pourquoi vous ricanez?
Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything.
Dans ce cas, quelle commande? Si, c'est bien.
No. He means la puta madre.
The name resounds like a bell in the air, a dark gong. Looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him do this.
Yeah, him.
Ah ouais,
Then I presume you are familiar with his peonies.
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Dirty fucking peonies who'd do anything for him. Multi-ethnic drug addicts.
Rien dire.
You're not peonies. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were.
No, of course not. We are not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, Then it's a good peony's job to find out who that is.
Hop. Continuer. Hop.
It's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Padre Madre angry. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief.
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorrymen and Carters Guild.
You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there. Did his shitty little guild protect him?
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
Maintenant, lui s'arrête de
The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod. I've softened him up as best I could. Now it's on you to finish the job. Be careful. This man's still got some fight in him by the looks of it. It won't be easy to break him. Men like this only respect two things: strength and fear. Time to turn up the volume.
Montrez-moi où se trouve ce putain de camion, indiquez-le-moi. Camion de la conductrice, où est-il?
Fuck you, I told you. I'm not gonna...
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
Appelle fils de pute, juste ton étonnement par transition, elle veut dire à tout le monde que t'as envoyé chier, madre. Une baiser pour l'éternité, pigé.
Fucking homo cop. Look, fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green, banged up thing. I don't fucking know who she is.
When did she go away?
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her for days.
Now it's not a big deal for him anymore. This is how he saves face.
Où se trouve son camion exactement?
Past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now leave me the fuck alone, okay?
A small temple by the monument. Green. Let's get into that lorry.
Looks like he got his adrenaline up, too.
Et bah alors, on s'est chié dessus, le connard de raciste. Allez hop, dans ta gueule. Hop. Ah, celui-ci.
This green found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
This must be the one he told us about. Unless he was lying.
Essayez de jeter un œil à
The
l'intérieur.
glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of the seat and two steering levers. It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too.
C'est la porte de poignée.
The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
Comment est-ce qu'on pourra l'ouvrir, Kim?
Use the pry bar to smash the window. Open it from the inside.
Vraiment?
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
Ok.
Pry bar in hand, you take a hard swing at the window. A loud thunk rings out and the pry bar bounces back, leaving a tiny spider web on the glass. Goddamn maggot. Drag your ass to the gym and do some reps right now.
Ah, c'est comme ça.
Another futile thunk sounds in the brisk coastal air.
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
He smashes it into the window. Droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor and pavement.
Joli.
It went better than I expected. Open it from the inside.
Ouais, la
The
partie.
smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Admire le poster.
These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye, a centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat.
Ah,
The
pinap.
actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera.
Okay.
A feeling of tenderness washes over you. A longing even, perhaps. And gentle tragedy. Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put your finger on whom exactly.
Oh, c'est peut-être la meuf qu'on a vue, la starlette, celle qui a fait les jeunes.
The actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard. Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed. Likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
Pourquoi ça enregistre autant de stations?
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation. With quite a range too.
Y a-t-il quelque chose qu'on puisse faire avec cette radio?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without a dial key.
Est-ce qu'il y a autre chose d'intéressant?
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes, some dead actresses, and you wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle. Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Apparemment, le conducteur ça collait un bout de papier de verre accélérateur pour éviter de glisser sur la pédale.
Sandpaper? A novel technique?
Peut-être que le papier de verre aussi fait disparaître le dessin sur semelle de la droite du conducteur.
Yes.
Do the honors, he thinks. Connect it yourself.
Une des empreintes de la scène du crime présentait une ligne de semelle était plus lisse que l'autre.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
Diriger aussi le trafic de drogue, elle va me donner du fil à retordre. Celle-là d'abord le trafic de dope, puis ça commence à faire ce commence à faire beaucoup.
Now we know for certain who is the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
À mon avis, ça gâte entier est dans cette affaire, voir toute la vie de Martin.
We should talk with Titus, see what he's got to say on the matter. Are we finished with the lorry?
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. The radio transmitter sits a metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper. It's an issue of Petty Ferique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages. It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system. These formulas look oddly painful. Maybe it's the hangover, but they give you a headache.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
Pousser la boîte à outils rétractable.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into it. You close the rusty old lock.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
Hop. T'as quelque chose à dire?
All right. We're finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Ça va être, on a fini, puis on a découvert ça, on va être à le faire en face de... On dirait que c'est un travail pour la police, que vous pensez au kill.
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net. I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
Listening in on your calls between you and your station? A worrying prospect.
And last but not least, it looks like the Hardy boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present at the lynching. This may be the Union connection we've been searching for.
The probe and the case converged, he thinks. This was quite the find.
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
Don't be fooled. Desire always plays a role.
Ça représente beaucoup de femmes, surtout pour la cabine. Quand c'est une sorte... ça, surtout pour la cabine.
Yes, well...
Unimportant.
Ça veut dire que c'est lié au syndicat.
Like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here. At best, this is an angle we can use against them, to other ends, as extra ammunition.
Si elle va t'allouer une enquête à ce
We
sujet.
should return to the murder case. See what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that. The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't.
Je pensais que c'était un signe de corruption.
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
Ok, débriefing terminé.
Debrief over. After you.
Ok. Ça c'est fait. C'est lui qui veut me parler?
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble? It's that bad. Man, what should I do? What should I do to help her?
Oh, et à tout prix éviter d'avoir d'autres civils impliqués dans cette affaire.
Yeah, maybe I should just keep my head down and work on my rhymes while I can.
Question en fait, mais qu'est-ce que vous comptez faire avec vos rimes?
Oh, you know. Tommy Leham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, or with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft.
Et notez, j'ai une autre question.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically.
On va pas tenter la conceptualisation maintenant. Hein. Hop, on va parler avec les hardis. Je pense qu'à la fin des hardis, on aura de quoi aller soit sur Joyce, soit...
It's you again. What is it?
Soit au niveau des dés. Hop. Quoi encore? Il y a un train qui s'est fait manipuler. Demi quoi, j'ai établi un lien entre vous et un trafic de drogue local.
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 Kilos.
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grâce?
No, the thunder is his. Leave it to the lieutenant.
Oh l'honneur, vous la méritez, fait un signe de tête.
Thank you. You're right, Titus. There is no local drug trade, because it's all controlled by you. You're the drug trade.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course.
Et les gens conscients de ce règlement les seigneurs et conscients de mentir de ce sens. C'est de façon certaine que le coin des gordes de Camille ça jamais vous admettez faire du blé en opposant vos pauvres citoyens.
Boo fucking who. People will always be taking drugs. Might as well do it clean and organized.
Yeah, that's what the labor movement is all about. Clean and organized. And the Hardy Boys are running it.
Theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics here. My answer to your drug accusation is, how dare you? Go fuck yourself.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy boys here.
La team mardi, c'est celle qui manque, c'est celle qui mène la barre, c'est exact.
My answer is fuck off. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene.
Finally, you got something out of him. This could prove useful in the future.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
I know! Fatty walked on all fours. He's so fucking fat he left 2 sets of footprints.
Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all fours. Anything else you need to know?
J'ai qu'il s'est fait manipuler. Ah, 17%. On va attendre d'avoir plus de rhétorique. J'ai bien envie de remonter pour aller voir la meuf. Parce que j'ai l'impression que ça pourrait être elle, la 8e mardi. Hop.
Officer, it's a fine day for questions.
On parle, ça va être...
Not my favorite topic. How about we... Sure. The record. Yeah?
Ok, non.
Alright.
Ok, non, c'est pas ce que je pensais.
The same small, heavy door.
Ok. En fait, il y a tellement besoin de points pour soit améliorer notre conscience, soit améliorer nos stats, c'est dur de faire des choix. Hein. Hop. Compliqué. On va parler avec Joyce. Hop. J'ai pas examiné. Non, mais je pense que c'est... Hop.
You see a set of tires. Hard to say.
Pourquoi je regarde ça?
Cop habit. This isn't case related, you think?
Ok. Parler au cas de ce que je pense, tant mieux. Allons voir Joyce. Hop là. Donc 21h, faut que je sois au balcon pour aller voir le fumeur.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Parle avec les routiers au rond-point.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Toi t'es toujours en train de faire ça, ouais. Ah, est-ce que je mets un point en plus là-dedans? Attendez, où se trouve exactement ses yeux? On va voir. Attendez, où se trouve exactement ses yeux?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
The lieutenant is about to interject. Cut him off. This decision should be yours.
Non, laissez le lieutenant.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
J'ai jamais entendu parler d'un lien entre le lynchage et la grève. J'ai besoin de votre témoignage.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me.
In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Un manque de confiance
They
temporaire.
were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Elle a besoin d'un détachement de sécurité.
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenel, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
Okay.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
Et ensuite?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenel contractors carry out their orders, for now.
Pour l'instant.
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
It will be all of them. The decision is already made.
Un mec qui c'est pas très disco. Peut-être que les enquêtes peuvent signer en partageant les ressources et les renseignements, par exemple.
Surely you're joking. These people are killers. My only hope is that yours provides a single, concrete suspect before they indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
They would have to project strength and power.
The Débardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath.
Même pas ça arrive, il faudrait que quelque chose de que beaucoup de choses tournent mal.
Too many things have already gone wrong. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep that which is not from following suit. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Vous pouvez me dire sur Crenel?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go.
Down a deep black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Okay.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Okay, vous pouvez me dire autre chose sur leur sujet?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenel.
Pouvez-vous contacter l'entreprise pour qu'elle les rappelle?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
On dit que le défunt avait agressé... c'est quoi cette histoire? On a dit que le défunt avait agressé une femme?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
Qui a fait circuler l'information alors?
The remaining contractors. Their tribunal. It's what they believe.
Que vous ont dit ces bord du canal?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
This does not come as news to us, but still. To your knowledge, where did this assault take place, if you know?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him. Good. Then you've made progress. It's imperative that you move fast. The tribunal will not be patient.
Ce colonel qui se fait pendre, vous le connaissez?
If you mean did I see him alive, yes. But I did not know him.
Il s'appelait?
Lely. His service name.
Putain.
Nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Il savait autre chose sur lui, c'était quel âge avait-il selon vous?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body, and Glacier also mentioned it, I believe. What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Must be hard to force your face to move in a new fashion. If you continue like this, you'll have an aneurysm.
I have an indirect role to play. I'm absolutely...
Who are they?
Cornell. They wear
So...
The story... He was taken out. Nothing. It's...
What is the...
Whether to
It'll be all of them. The decision...
Surely, if you...
They would have to.
The débardeur...
Have you ever... These men, as I said, a bloodbath. All... Yes. I'm afraid this...
Since you are...
Then we're on the same page.
Où se trouvent les deux
As grim
mercenaires
as it may
restants?
be, they've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol.
On doit pourtant découvrir où se cache.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Où sont ces mercenaires?
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
Un autre se trouve probablement dans un bâtiment qui donne sur le rond-point.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
Une question pour vous.
I hope I can answer it better.
Combien de temps avons-nous?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
5 days, not more. Maybe sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half a minute, in silence.
It was taken with a trigette not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
Qu'en pensez-vous?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Comme des étoiles dans le ciel.
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
Quoi sert cette carte?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Ok.
Where is he now?
C'est signera nulle part, sauf à la main. Je vais lui parler pour l'instant. Là, mais je sais pas. En train de voler bien, loin d'ici alors qu'il est.
I would say he's near the Arcade Islands by now, ready to exit the Insul Indian and into the Pale, if I've read his home address correctly.
Quel voyage a fait l'homme mort?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
Okay.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Inter-Easlary Age.
Okay.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor. And these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Somewhere in an office lit by a single green desk lamp, Captain Ptolemaeus Price, 58, bald and bespectacled, is writing in a ledger on his desk.
Pourquoi j'ai ça, moi?
Rows of days and weeks, laconic remarks in a single column. Patrol, case, vacation, injured.
Pourquoi l'esprit du corps il met à parler d'autres trucs, genre...
In Martinez, looking into Krenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter.
Je connais pas cet homme, mais il s'agit de son histoire de service.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
Tout pour le tatouage, merci.
Is there anything else I can...
Ok, est-ce que je peux intérioriser un deuxième truc en même temps? Confirmé. Intérioriser. Ok. Ça prend 20 minutes, on va le faire, hop. Avant d'aller parler avec le mec, on va aller chercher nos dés. Ce serait bien. On va chercher nos dés, on va parler avec... avec comment il s'appelle non, hop. Avec le gros bras. Parler avec le gros bras. Et ensuite, en fonction d'eux, essayer d'aller voir si c'est 21h le gars à l'intérieur. Hop. Ah, qui m'a quelque chose à dire?
It's dark. And the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand.
Ça se tient, une lampe électrique compliquée. Oui, ça c'est
Right.
évident.
Now let's get to...
Some areas are inaccessible without your flashlight. After you've acquired it...
Il a peur du noir, Kim. Hop. C'est bon, t'arrêtes de... Hop là. Pourquoi ils nous mettent une ambiance comme ça alors qu'on connaît le bâtiment? Hop.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a dye?
Ah, c'est pas à l'heure là qu'il m'a demandé de revenir? Comment? Regarde, le dé dit dans 8 heures. À 19h20. Le commercial me dit n'oubliez pas de prendre de l'argent.
I'm sorry. I'm a bit overloaded just now, so I can only produce one dye per customer.
Ok, bon bah c'est pas pour tout de suite. C'est moi j'ai encore un point de talent, attends voir. Ah oui j'ai encore un point de talent. Art dramatique j'ai moins. On va augmenter instrument physique. Hop. Ça si on a d'autres trucs à défoncer, on pourra plus facilement le faire. Hop. On va déjà tenter la porte en haut. Ensuite on va parler avec les mecs en haut. Hop. Ça ici. T'es qui toi?
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
C'est juste des clients, j'ai l'impression, ok. Hop là. Bonjour madame, je viens juste enfoncer une porte.
The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. This time, something cracks inside. It is an unbelievably satisfying sound.
Nice.
Filling you with a belief in your own body.
Well, sounds like this time the property damage was at least resolutive. Would it hurt to look in?
Voyons voir. Hop. Ah, enlève-toi Kim.
You clearly see footprints in the downy carpet of dust covering the workshop floor.
Jackpot. These, unlike everything else here, are new.
Quelqu'un est venu ici il y a une semaine ou deux.
3 weeks maximum, from the dust coverage. It could easily have been 1 week too.
This is good. He likes it. There's a little smile there.
This isn't bad at all. It was a good idea to see where that door leads. Commendable work bringing us to this place.
On sait à peu près pour baisser les étudier d'emprunt.
Large prints, most likely made by Boots. The size is hard to determine. Soul could be bigger than Vamp. The soles have left the pattern, uniform, horizontal lines.
L'empreinte ne ressemble pas à celle par le drone de sommeil que nous avons trouvé.
The size looks about the same, actually. They're not the same shoe, but they could be the same person.
Ça ne ressemble pas aux bottes de Zoé sur le lieu de pendaison.
No. These little horizontal lines are different. They look custom-made to me. Or some kind of foreign print.
Se relever.
Everything around you is quiet. The prints crisscross the workshop floor.
Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire?
It means someone snuck through what seems like a secret route. Behind our rape victim's room. In the recent weeks. This may prove to be significant.
Allons voir ailleurs. Hop. Un landau. Ah non, flipper, merde. Oh, empathie. Coordination, vieux cette île. Est-ce que c'est mieux que ce que j'ai? Hop, prise du corps, frisson. Ça remplace ça. Ouais, on va prendre ça plutôt. C'est plus stylé. Plan pour un flipper futuriste. Boîte à outils, pièce de change, hors tout l'étagère. Ah, l'arrière-porte. Tiens, flipper à le fond de ton. Le mot NB, la clé de secours est attachée au buisson et c'est la chambre de l'angle.
Over there, in the corner.
Flipper?
Not just any pinball machine. This is the pinnacle of pinball. Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats. It's lit. You can't wait to get your hands on
Et vous voyez ce que je vois?
The pinball machine. Gordy's Goats. A classic.
Seconde, vais jouer.
A little.
Feels like a lot. Too much to play it again.
Non, ça plus près. Oh, il y a un mini-jeu.
Ah, great.
Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats reads the golden lettering on top of the back box. Get the game on, Fingerboy. Those flippers are ready. It takes a while to get into a rhythm, but pretty soon you're able to keep 3 goat-faced balls in play with relative ease. Go, go, Fingerboy.
I feel sorry for the goats. If they only knew the kind of guy old Cornelius really
Seconde,
was.
c'est quel genre de type?
The kind of a guy who uses the word savages a lot when recounting his travels.
Alpiste raciste.
An avid huntsman too. He was often photographed in his dining hall, surrounded by wall-mounted hunting trophies from every continent.
C'est pas cool.
He also hit his wife and kids. Other people's kids too. Sometimes pets. Hate, but you seem to be having fun.
Débrouille pas mal.
Your game is definitely improving. The jolly goats are flying all over the board, and although a few plummet to their deaths, you're never left with less than 3. Suddenly, a special passage leading to the summit slides open at the top of the board. This is where the balls need to go.
Concentré, viser le passager 3.
Maneuvering a goat ball into a position for a perfect hit isn't easy. More fall to their deaths. But finally, the opportunity presents itself. The words "pale rupture" light up on the speaker panel, and the machine starts filling with a thick, milky fog. Something's happening.
Congratulations. This is where the game ends. It's a cheap way of getting more money out of the players. A stupid, nihilistic finale.
There's so much fog, you can barely see anything. Some is actually leaking out of the machine, and one by one, your goats start slipping, disappearing into the milky nothingness. Lucky goats. The fog looks soft and inviting. This can be navigated. The balls leave almost imperceptible disruptions in the fog. Use them to calculate where they hit next. You're down to your last goat, going mostly by sound. Eyes are useless at this point, but that goat is something special. 5 times you snatch him back from the jaws of death.
I've been wondering the same.
There goes nothing.
Ok.
Overproductive on the glands.
Fixé par productrice. Merde, j'ai passé le truc. Ma ceinture d'honneur pour les braves, et là je continue ainsi. Je n'ai aucune famille, je fais l'honneur de ma famille. Je n'ai aucune maison, je fais du courage à ma maison. Je n'ai aucun désir, je fais la liste de mon désir. Je n'ai aucun ami, je fais de l'unité mon ami. Je n'ai aucun ennemi, ainsi écrit mon serment sonneur. Pour les braves, je suis brave. Quelque chose dans ce genre, ce ne sont pas les mots qui important, c'est l'honneur. Sage. 25 000 points d'honneur, ok. 5 pour ça, je passe à 5, ok. Et ça, c'est encore en cours, ouais. Hop.
You see a heavy steel door with a...
There must be a key somewhere.
Ouais. J'avais vu marqué buisson quelque part, mais hop là on va sortir.
This small elevator smells of nougat and sweat. Your head brushes up against the ceiling. There is a control panel to your right, and just enough room for 2 people to fit in. There are large rectangular buttons. Monter, descendre, and
Ça a dû
an
servir à transporter
international
les flippers
call
entre
for
étages.
emergency assistance.
Seems so, although it's pretty quaint for a freight elevator.
Fermez la porte et montez. Ah, quelque chose.
So this is where they brought 40 pinball machines to fix them up. A long time ago. Everything is covered with dust now. The lieutenant looks around the dusty, crowded room.
Et à un moment donné, ils ont arrêté d'apparaître les flippers.
At some point, 20 years ago, 15 maybe, before pinball went out of vogue.
C'était un atelier de flippers autrefois.
Looks like it. I'm guessing Martinez North 22 used to be a pinball arcade before it became a hostel. There are machines left over. Downstairs in the hall, next to the main door. One of them even works. I've seen one of the artists bang away at it.
Remember the dice maker? Then that means...
Le Rolling Eye était le flipper de la Delta S, tout ce qui reste.
Ah yes, as the novelty dice makers said. This has absolutely nothing to do with the case, I'm sure. But I do like a nice little connection.
But then it went bankrupt. Your skin crawls from making the connection.
Est-ce que ça signifie que le Rolling Eye fait partie de la zone commerciale maudite?
If that's true, then our cafeteria manager is not going to like it. We should tell him what we found up here, omitting that suspicion. He does not appear to be the kind of man who likes his establishment to be part of a neighborhood ghost story.
It's not a ghost story. It's a curse, and Gart ought to be made knowledgeable so he can perform counter.
Ok. On ressort, hop. On va aller voir les dés. Je pense que là ils sont terminés les dés en vrai. Hein. Hop. Je pensais qu'on trouverait le deuxième homme là-dedans, mais non, tant pis. Hop. Allez, hop. Garté. On va pas voir Garté en premier. On va aller déjà chercher les dés. J'ai passé quasiment 1 heure dans les jets de dés, putain. Il faut que je pense à aussi à 21 h aller sur le côté. Objet. Outils. Hop. On va chercher le dé. What? Pauvre petit animal, leur dépouille ne connaît aucun rapport après la mort. Est-ce que tu as fini mes dés, toi?
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Je suis là pour mon dé.
Very good. That would be 7 real for one custom die. Here's the cursed die you ordered.
Lire les inscriptions.
The phrases read, God is indifferent. Take all. Lose all. 50-50.
C'est pas un dé.
It's a die. Try rolling it.
Lancez le dé maudit.
You throw the ball on the floor, and it ends with one of the phrases facing upwards. God is indifferent.
Good. Now roll again, detective.
It lands on exactly the same result.
It's a sphere pretending to be a 6-sided die. Each roll will end with one of the phrases facing up. The die originates in Ilmara, where it was used for cleromancy. Except I've weighted the die. When you try rolling it, you realize that each time it gets you exactly the same result. God is indifferent. This is our curse.
Merci.
Good luck, officer.
Pourquoi elle a dit ouais, pourquoi est-ce qu'elle n'a pas mis la clé sur la porte?
A gust of cold air sweeps through the chimney. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere.
C'est qu'une théorie, mais je crois savoir pourquoi vous n'avez pas fait faillite.
Didn't we already talk about this?
C'est parce que vous n'êtes pas dans le même bâtiment que les autres techniquement. Ce n'est pas la zone commerciale
What are you
maudite.
talking about? My address is exactly the same. Rue de Saint-Guilain 10.
No, The old coal plant that used to be here was subsumed into the new venture.
Il y avait
Its
autrefois une usine de
ruins
charbon, ça
swallowed
va
up.
toucher les deux.
Yet it has a
Vous êtes
different
dans la cheminée
address
d'un
in the
autre
heart of
bâtiment.
the city.
This doesn't make any sense. Are you saying my business was spared because of a technicality?
Sur
Where is
logique,
this coming
le vent
from?
circule dans la pièce. Le chapeau de la cheminée ne peut pas être peut-être pas bien installé, désigner le toit.
You're right. I should take a trip to the roof once the snow is gone. Does it mean that I'm safe from failure?
Don't let her become complacent. She still needs to ward her soul against the evil forces.
En fait, seul votre est protégé. Vous devez prendre des mesures pour vous défendre.
She starts laughing, her fingers trying to rub away the...
Do you know what this is?
Une sorte de talisman, on dirait un bijou, peu importe. Une sorte de talisman.
It's a mourning ring. I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in the East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. I drove it into the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan.
Oui, la malédiction est bien réelle. Je parie que votre bijouterie ne se trouvait pas dans la bulle protectrice de la cheminée.
No, you're right. I didn't. It wasn't just a jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was just the world you were supposed to try again and again until you finally succeed. And now you're telling me what? That it was all because I didn't run my little shops and ventures from a dump inside an abandoned chimney?
Pas un dépotoir, vous avez créé un petit nid douillet.
Yeah. Or maybe it's the entire world that's cursed. It's such a precarious place. Nothing ever works out the way you want it. That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever you want to be, you can try again. Still, there is something inherently violent even about dice rolls. It's like every time you cast a die, something disappears. Some alternative ending or an entirely different world. But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer.
Ok. J'ai bien envie de prendre la réflexion qu'elle a eue. Objet. Des maudits Ilmariens. C'est quoi le monde précaire? Oui, autorisation temporaire. Échec de tous les lancers rouges. Bien l'autorisation 4 heures. Vas-y, on va déverrouiller. Hop. Hop, vas-y, on va intérioriser. L'hôtel maudit. Hop. Point de talent, hop. Par ici, on va aller à l'extérieur. Ce qui va se faire pour la nuit, on va passer demain. Merde. Il va falloir passer par les souterrains. Ok, donc à 21 h c'est fermé. Allez, on ressort par ici. Alors, il parlait d'un buisson. C'est pas que ce soit par ici, non. Hop. Il me faudra 20 gold, 20 réals pour demain. Hop, oui, je suis occupé. On va reprendre le pied de biche. Hop. Merci. On va aller à l'appartement 28. On va déjà essayer d'avoir le buisson. Y'a rien ici, non? Il disait au niveau du buisson, mais c'est où? Hop. Merde. Toi les bons moments de circulation au loin, ça va. Ok. C'est quoi ça? Ok.
This door is made of metal and appears to no one answers.
We should return tomorrow.
Ok, ouais, non, parce que dans le journal il disait 21h. Ok. Dommage. Tant pis. Ok, ça c'est bon. Peut-être qu'il y avait un buisson quelque part, mais où ça? C'est sur un deuxième en Pixler, ouais. Un nouveau ici. Le panneau est tombé.
A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal. Two ugly lines mar the bright countenance of the blonde boy depicted.
Oh, Samarin, c'est quoi ce truc?
Whatever it is, the boy on the billboard seems very happy about it.
Intéressé de déterminer ce qui est passé.
Just some tasteless advertising at the bottom of a canal.
Je suis mauvais. C'est incroyable. Pourquoi j'arrive plus à courir? Pourquoi ma... Moi j'ai l'impression que le clic est bugué. Attendez. Sauvegarder.
Right to work. Right to
Je crois que vous pouvez m'aider à comprendre la destination de ce tour.
Don't think so.
Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea.
Actually, I think we should maybe even get going now.
On me prendre congé. C'est le personnage qui est fatigué ou c'est le jeu qui est bugué là à pas pouvoir courir? Là je crois que c'est parce qu'il est 21h et que c'est pour ça qu'on peut plus courir, je crois. Est-ce que c'est un bug? On va aller dormir, hop. À demain, hop. On va parler avec la meuf pour voir si on peut dire plus ou pas.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Maintenant que Kim n'est plus là, parlons de ce qui est passé dimanche soir.
Ah, yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer.
Pas meilleur souvenir après avoir raté vous, le monde était contenu de pièces, de hauteur, vapeur, Salva. J'ai entendu quelque chose dimanche soir dans ma chambre.
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music.
J'avais de la visite?
I can't say. Probably not.
Elle parlait de la musique
Sounded
disco.
like you were
Faut
flying
jouer
solo.
plein pot.
Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestrations prime among them. Were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course, like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Ah, c'est ça, on s'accroche.
I don't know about that. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped, and there was a change of pace.
Qu'est-ce qui vient de se passer?
A slow, sad song started playing, like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time, you were yelling along to it.
Parce que je chantais ça, lui montrer la boîte vide, la petite église de Saint.
Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that.
Quoi d'autre?
That it doesn't matter anymore, and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it.
Quand vous dites sans route, c'est une bonne chose? Comme si j'étais un animal sauvage?
Yes, it was very cool.
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé ensuite?
Then you started screaming and trashed the place.
Sûr que j'étais pas en train de me faire agresser du vodka et... Sûr que j'étais pas en train de me faire agresser?
No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. It sounded like someone was trashing their room.
Okay.
A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out.
Quelque chose d'autre à signaler?
There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable.
Okay.
I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. Around 4 or 5.
Merci.
No problem, sir.
Aïe 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 aïe. Véritable animal, je suis. Ok, on va aller se reposer. Hop. Est-ce qu'il y a moyen de faire des trucs avec le miroir?
A mirror hangs on the bathroom
Ah oui.
wall. In it,
Vas-y,
your
on entend.
face. But like the rest of you, it comes.
Je suis mauvais.
The bed is still cold from the.
Ça, je peux pas rattraper toujours.
This fan has. Or has it been consigned there as.
Hop.
The bed is still cold.
Allez, on dort.
The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bird. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man. It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
And there's a lot of it, ever present in your organs. It's like every one of them has their own nasty song to sing. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you?
Terminatrice. Quand elle ne voit rien de toute façon, il n'arrive que des tuiles. Je suis désolé, mais c'est le chéri, c'est moi. Tout est de ma faute.
Now, you're finally thinking about something other than yourself. Let's see how far that'll get you.
Je pense que j'ai besoin de... Sans juste mes desserts, je supporterai cette douleur avec dignité. Et oui, c'est un pays, se d'oubli. Non.
There's no dignity here. Only reflections of your body mass. Flashes of the day. You keep coming back to yourself in the mirror. But why? To admire all your accomplishments? You're just stuck here. In the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
Je le ferai, je regarderai les gens de tout le temps, je les aime bien.
Sure you do. They're all so friendly, aren't they?
Some of them are. Some of them are nice. Others are scared.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
Ok. Ouais, j'ai l'impression que c'est bugué. Alors je vais juste faire une sauvegarde. Hop. Hop, sauvegarder. Menu principal, confirmé. Hop. Je vais recharger. Hop. Charger. Je sais pas si c'est ma souris qui déconne ou si c'est le... Hop. Pourquoi j'arrive pas à faire de double clic à faire courir? Oh fuck, il y a d'autres flics.
Yes.
You look like shit.
Une sale gueule, il a chopé sur le feu dans les lunettes de
And
soleil.
I don't mean that as a metaphor.
Le jour c'est un peu tendu.
Oh, don't be so modest. We're looking at several months worth of damage here. Kind of a miracle you're still up and at it, to be honest.
Oh, come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
It's not just this week. What you want?
Okay, so this guy is cool. He stands there like a statue, an angry statue, and he does not like you. Don't even try to win him over. He won't.
Un truc clochette, il faut trouver ce que c'est.
There's something that binds you to him. Some kind of an outfit, maybe. A uniform.
C'est la classe ouverte que j'ai devant moi, n'est-ce pas?
I want to say, yes, I think.
Pas demander ça.
Then don't. No one's forcing you.
Kim, c'est qui ce type?
I'm not getting involved in this.
It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses and the woman beside him. Oh boy, they're mad at him. No wonder.
Quelle question à poser chez le policier?
About what? You don't look like a cop. You know what you look like?
Ah non, mais on va tuer toutes les cartes, je galère, mec.
Oh, well, go solve your case then. That would count as trying hard.
He didn't answer your question.
Alors, on a bien répondre à quelques questions pour moi?
No.
Comment ça, non?
Cause it's not my job. Why don't you go and fucking do yours and solve this damn hanging?
J'avais pas envie de répondre à la question, on pourrait faire peut-être dire quelque chose. M'entendre dire quelque chose.
Actually, I don't want to hear you say things.
Come on, Jean.
Okay, say things. I want to hear you say things.
Hear that? He wants you to say things. Suddenly, out of nowhere, case-related things start popping up in your head.
Bon, je bosse sur cette enquête, un homme a été pendu.
So, do you know who hanged him?
Pas encore.
Yeah, I can see that.
Pourquoi je vous raconte ça?
I don't know. Why are you?
Who knows why we do the things we do? Somehow, bouncing those ideas off the man with sunglasses felt calming. But you know what? It must be because he's buff. He looks like he works out, like he's got the...
Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? What is it?
Okay.
Watch out for yourself.
The woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform.
I would really prefer not to talk.
A patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM, below lieutenant and sergeant.
Ah, si c'est une patrouilleuse MCR.
Yes, I am.
Je fais qu'aussi.
I know.
Here's the real deal.
Regarde sur un meurtre à cavalerie, c'est ouf.
I'm definitely not the cavalry.
Tout va bien, pourquoi vous ne pouvez pas parler?
I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you?
C'est du tort, j'ai fait tas de gens.
No, you haven't wronged me. So
Something changes in her. It's pity. Pity comes over her.
okay, fine. Let's talk. What did you want?
Et vous apportez à quel poste?
What precinct?
Am I from? God, he doesn't know.
Fucking deranged lunatic.
C'est-à-dire, vous parti la classe ouvrière?
Well, raising 2 children and half a husband on a patrol officer's wage? Yes, I guess I am working class.
Cool.
Okay.
She's merely agreeing with you to reach the conclusion of this conversation faster.
Vous êtes avec lui?
Of course I'm with him. Why do you ask?
Ah, je me demande
The
de lui.
sooner you figure this hanging out, the sooner everyone can go home.
Cool. C'est la voix de la police, cool, moi aussi.
I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, Judith.
Seconde, il est de la police?
Me? No. I'm just a man with sunglasses. I like wearing sunglasses inside. Sunglasses and a fucking wig.
Est-ce que vous, la police, êtes ici?
I'm just looking out for...
You?
No one. I'm just a man with sunglasses. And you are?
Ne rien dire.
I just want to do my job, that's all.
Something about the man with sunglasses and you, the energy between you two is making her uncomfortable.
Ok, au revoir. C'est qui ces types, Kim?
Yes?
Alors par contre, ça va être chiant si j'arrive pas à... Ok. Je peux plus faire de double clic. Je ne sais pas pourquoi. Hop.
Right to work. Right to
Êtes-vous un mercenaire embauché par Wildpine?
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here. You understand?
His neck muscles tense up. The veins on his neck bulge.
Et dire comment y a-t-il un tunnel en train d'être monté par hasard?
Fucking bug. How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above, in the buildings. The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get hit. It's hard to do that when you want to beat a man.
Ok, donc ça c'est fait. On va reparler avec le gars à l'intérieur, avec Garté. Hop là.
Can I help you?
J'ai autre chose.
Another thing. Great. I love those.
Elle a coupé la ligne téléphonique. Garté, ici, je vous disais que je suis en train de appeler le secrétaire.
Oh, okay. Well, I did hear you make noise back there, so good for you.
He's really holding himself back here. It takes a lot of willpower not to ask. Obviously, he's been wanting to know what's behind the door.
Je n'ai pas me demandé si ça derrière.
Okay, what is back there?
Des flippers, un atelier de flippers.
Ah! I knew it. I've always wondered where those machines by the door came from. And they told me there was some kind of pinball thing here too. I knew it. Were there any back there? In working order, I mean.
Pourquoi vous voulez faire une petite partie? Moi, ça me branche bien.
No, I was just wondering. if you found pinball machines there...
En tête devant des fleurs, je veux une grosse part, genre, comme un cadre dirigeant, frappez le porte une réalisateur.
Those machines are whirling property. But if it makes you feel any better, I'm not planning to sell them. It wouldn't hurt to get a little life in here, other than the hellish karaoke machine.
Sounds like he cares about the place. He's not going to be overjoyed to hear that it's part of the doomed commercial area. He should still know. You have to be forewarned
Alors, il se
about
peut
these
que
things.
Waring fasse partie de la zone commerciale maudite.
What? Why would you say that? We're at a completely different address from that whole thing.
So he knows of the doomed commercial area
Seconde, vous êtes au courant?
and its address.
Everyone knows of it.
Dans le ring apparaît interphone de l'extérieur, comme une entreprise du bâtiment B de la zone commerciale maudite.
I've been working here for a long time, and that intercom has never been used by the
Pas
whirling.
une seule fois, c'est pas déjà un signe de déclin?
It's a sign of the whirling in rags not being part of the doomed commercial area. If anything, we're revitalizing this neighborhood.
Relax, Mr. Gart. I'm sure there is no doom. He simply wants to share his discoveries with you.
Toutefois, le flipper Delta S avant de connaître sa faillite. Il faudra pas longtemps, oui. Et toutefois, le flipper Delta avant de connaître sa faillite. Mais peut-être que le ring échappera à la
Does
malédiction.
this look like part of a doomed commercial area? This pre-revolutionary tilework, these high ceilings, the nice rooms, well, most of the rooms. For 14 years, man. That's how long I've worked here. I've kept this place up through hail and through sleet. Fuck me, if some doom ghost...
He's done a fine job too. Though he's spoken of the place dismissively before, the hostel is actually very important to him.
Qui possède ces endroits?
Some real estate management company. They never come around here, just collect money from afar. Honestly, I think some money laundering might be involved.
Qui lui a donné le nom de Willing in Rag?
Well, it sure as hell wasn't the real estate company.
It was you?
You look surprised. What? It's a great name, I know. Cafeteria managers come up with great names too.
Une chanson?
Hail, Holy Queen, by the Ateniers. Hail, Holy Queen of the Sea. You're whirling in rags, you're vast and you're sad.
Good pick.
Et c'est d'autres cafés que vous gérez?
What about them? One is a basement dive frequented by chain-smoking communists. I can't tell you how sick I am of Kraz Mazov and Ignis Nielsen and all those old ghosts.
He's hesitating, not sure if he should share this information with you. Encourage him.
Et les autres?
The other is a kebab cart. It's very successful in its way, but it's nothing like the whirling.
C'est d'autres cafés, ok. Et c'est vraiment petit son avec le whirling.
Yeah. It's slowly growing on me again. It's beautiful in its own way, especially for this neighborhood. I've been trying to keep it that way, even if it is part of the damn doomed commercial area.
Alors vous la notez enfin.
Yes, your police skills have delivered. I'm sure you'll get a commendation, maybe even a promotion.
Bien, dans ce cas, bonne chance à vous avec cet endroit.
Luck has got nothing to do with it. I need to think about where I'm going to place those pinballs. I have a feeling they're going to... So, if you didn't have anything else to tell me... Yes?
Ok. Normalement, l'écluse est réparée aujourd'hui. Si je ne m'abuse. Je sais pas pourquoi ça veut plus faire le double clic là. Ah, c'est pas réparé.
A rusting control panel with loose wires dangling out from the hole where he grabbed the handle and pulled the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. The water lock starts moving.
Ok, nickel. Putain, ça me fait penser à l'écluse dans Fallout 4. Je sais pas pourquoi.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now. I don't...
Focus on one thing. Achieve it, then the next.
Attends voir, mais là de toute façon... 28 après 21h pour Citro, ouais. Voilà, n'est toujours pas venu l'écluse, ok. Titus, ok. Vas-y, on va tenter avec Titus de le convaincre de parler. C'est chiant le double clic là qui ne fonctionne plus. Je sais pas si c'est... Non, c'est pas la souris qui est morte vu que ça clique. C'est relou ça. Genre, c'est un problème de course aussi ou pourquoi ça veut pas courir? J'ai regardé sur Google mais c'est bugué genre.
It's you again. What is it?
Disco Elysium. Activer l'image, hop. Bug run. Make my character. Ok. Ok, il va falloir que je relance juste le jeu après, ok.
Again.
Merde.
Good one, Titus.
About fucking
Non, c'est-à-dire que
time.
les pendus, eh bien, c'est pas de venir vous faire la peau.
Yeah. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Cronell.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
Nervous, snickering. There's a rush of adrenaline present.
Oui, ils sont en train de construire une sorte de terminal, ils vont venir vous trouver.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us, and Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident, ready to punch out the whole merc platoon.
Sur le Cranel ne sent pas mon pot, vous savez, pas vrai?
So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy Army and the Madre scum. You've been out there. Seen any around?
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
These people are trained military professionals, special forces, as you said. They're not a gang or barmy army.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. Don't forget, we're listening in on their communications. Their shit is way apart.
Mercenaires sont équipés d'armes automatiques.
We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home.
En balles peuvent passer une armure en céramique.
I guess we're gonna see.
Qu'est-ce qu'on verra? Quelle rebondissement dessus?
Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor. You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal.
Le syndicat, ils ont constitué leur propre faction, personne ne les contrôle.
Big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city. What do you think is gonna happen?
Ok.
What do you mean, okay?
Ok, vous avez une flingue de plus de côté. Une fois que je trouve le mien, j'ai perdu. Parce que je flingue en même temps que. Ok, vous avez raison, vous avez avantage. Ok. De l'autre côté, quand le dark, ils vont flaminer. Vous avez raison, vous avez l'avantage non.
Goddamn right we do. We done it before. Ain't that right, fellas?
Fuck yeah, we have. Battle-hardened urban soldiers, man. We got the guns and the reserves.
Yeah, we got reserves. We can...
This guy will be the first one to bail.
Oh, 28%. Alors, parce que là, j'ai quoi? Questionner, demander, vous connaissez compétences, compris, vous avez découvert. Vas-y, on va tenter rhétorique, même si on a qu'un.
I don't know what went wrong the last time. You have so many good ideas here. Make them all see their puppets on a string.
Mais t'es bien fait enfumer, je
No, we fucking ain't, asshole. No one's fiddling anyone in here.
No, Glenn. I want to hear this. Who do you think is fucking fiddling me?
Finale dramatique sur un violon imaginaire. Le chasseur devient le chasseur. Dans quoi? Chasseur devient le chasseur? Ils sont ouf.
Oh, you want more good options? Here we go. So good.
Ravi. Tu sens cher métrosexué posé de façon. Non, Tigo et moi, on sait très bien où ça mène, putain. Par notre petite jolie brique à l'étage. Continue. Qu'est-ce qui m'arrive?
Yeah. What is happening to you? Were you on narcotics?
No. My partner is a spiritual man. He was a minister before joining the RCM.
J'ai aucune
Many of us
rhétorique.
were. Time to move to more earthly matters. Like what really happened here.
I do not understand. This fiddle play totally fell apart. The concept was solid, but the delivery tragically off. You sounded like a madman.
Hop là, allez, salut. Faut que j'augmente ma rhétorique, hein, vraiment, alors, je vais juste sauvegarder, hop. Est-ce que ça a débugué? Non, hop là, on va relancer le jeu. Hop, quitter. Apparemment, c'est un bug connu. Hop. Jouer. J'espère que ça me le restera pas à présent. C'est que ça chiant que je ne puisse plus courir avec le double clic. Il faudrait que je vois, mais je pense pas pouvoir trouver la clé pour la boutique. Aïe aïe. Ok, continuer. Est-ce que ça va fonctionner maintenant? Oui, c'est bon, ok. C'est débugué. Donc du coup, on va pouvoir aller au niveau de l'écluse. Y passer. Ça va, ok, hop. On va dézoomer, hop. J'avais peur que ma souris soit bousillée, mais non, c'est juste un bug. Qu'est-ce donc? Rester bourdonne dans l'antenne radio, ok. 50 centimes, on prend. Il va encore avoir plein de trucs à explorer. Mode de fusible qui manque le piano radio. Qui c'est qu'il y a peut-être quelque chose à l'intérieur? Oh! Merci pour la thune. J'ai pas vu le... Alors, c'est quoi ça? Action de la porte d'autres camions abandonnés, ok. Empathie logique. Putain, y a pas des lunettes qui donnent des bonus uniquement? Pas dit entrée interdite. Quelqu'un a une étoile à l'envers dessus, ok. Hop.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of...
Does it say anything interesting?
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, silly soif.
Rappelez-moi déjà, c'est quoi une mémoire filamentaire?
It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
Avez-vous vraiment une idée de sauver machine à glace?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the iceberg.
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box?
Ok. Ah, du coup, c'est même si j'ai débranché, c'est pas utile. Ok. Quelqu'un a cassé la couture, a coupé le fil barbelé. Ok. Des sous. Bâtiment de 4 étages bloque le vent dans la cour. C'est bien, le on n'est plus là, l'endroit est désert depuis longtemps. De la thune. Peut-être avoir les vins réels pour passer la nuit. Gloire à nos fantômes. Oh. Donc là ils vendent les bouteilles aussi. On a caché sa collection de musique sous le bâche. Petite église. Oh mais attends, je vais pouvoir jouer dans le... Sélectionner l'objet d'inventaire à l'aide du bouton interagir.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is wrapped. You press the large button marked Commencer, and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing.
Sa bonne distance.
Then the organ starts playing, a simple, melancholic tune echoing in the hallway, telling you about the tiniest church in Cessons, surrounded by even tinier yard. You almost feel the seaside mist on your skin. It's mega sad. Within seconds you know, this is the one, the real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to that Claudia told you about. Perform it. A click, then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning. Of course you could sing this. You could take sad to a whole new level with this. And you already know the lyrics since you've listened to it like a million times. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling you to do it. Only one obstacle stands on your way.
Quoi donc?
God. You have to convince God to let you sing karaoke in the whirling.
Let's go!
After you've won him over, you can express yourself. Let the pain out. Make everyone understand.
Mourra avec honneur.
The lieutenant watches you pack up the boombox. He doesn't say anything.
Ok. Je chanterai et je mourrai avec honneur. Ah, quelque chose là.
Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere. Yet someone used to live here, laugh here. Thought it was a good idea to build a swing, even.
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé ici?
In this yard? Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscur, for cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago.
Attendez, c'est quoi un bloc obscur?
A black bloc. A part of the city left unrenovated after the war. Or one that has fallen to gang violence. Or has become inhospitable in some other way.
Donc cette partie de la côte est un bloc obscur.
Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drunks. Life is tough in the blocks. It's no place to build a summer house.
Moi, ils m'ont laissé la vieille musique derrière, taper la bande que ramassée.
Yes, and you picked it up because you're a post-apocalyptic scavenger who collects trash and magnesium blisters.
It's not meant as nagging, just an observation.
We should move. I don't think we will solve the murder with forays into the urban hinterland, at least in this phase of the investigation.
Okay. Après, pour le moment, on n'a pas d'autres pistes, entre guillemets. C'est quoi ça? C'est un bateau? Un bateau dissimulé sous la bâche, ok. Tout en up. Travers verre cassé va percer des étagères poussiéreuses. Une chaise oubliée. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a à l'intérieur? Une chaise rouge fonce, baignée, la faible pièce. On prend, hop. Oh, nœud papillon, allez hop. Les nœuds de pape, c'est cool. Hop là, comme dirait le docteur. Objet. Juste mettre ça dans la main. Ah.
It's only a red chair. Just a red chair in an empty shack, with what looked like a dusty bow tie on the shelf.
On dirait qu'on doit quand même y jeter un œil.
Investigate the blood red chair? You're going to leave it alone, Harry. That's what you're going to do. You suddenly feel afraid of the chair. It looks like blood is peeling off it.
Ok. Bizarre. On va reprendre ça. Hop. Non, merde, je veux... Hop. Voilà, parfait. Oh. Alors déjà, hop. Un grincement ensuite d'un essieu brisé. Ça, j'ai déjà exploré. De l'essence. Bien d'essence cabossée. Bon, ça vaut de la thune, on prend.
A banged up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. It must be cold and lonely down there.
C'est là que...
In the icy water.
C'est là que menaient les traces partant de la place.
It appears to be so.
Enquêtons.
I agree. We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden, sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. Why the doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea.
Passez votre main sur le métal froid.
The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists.
Quel est le constructeur de cet automotricien logo?
The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by.
Ça fait combien de temps qu'elle est là?
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
Que doit-on faire?
Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside.
Ça va prendre combien de temps avant que la marée basse n'arrive?
I don't know. An hour or two, tops?
Ce soir, ça va attendre que la marée se retire.
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea.
Siffler une mélodie.
Spit flies from your mouth to your moustache, your chest, the ground before you. No sound though.
Putain, je suis de merde.
The lieutenant must think it's rather funny. He smiles and quickly turns away.
Ah, très drôle. Je sais pas siffler apparemment.
Just keep at it. It will come to you.
With his lips puckered, the lieutenant lets out a beautiful melodic trill that puts even the insulindic thrush to shame. You hear the sound echo on the large body of water. Clouds race across the spring sky, and suddenly you just feel better about everything. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed.
Alors, votre père était aussi vous savez, enfin, oh putain, non, non, mais putain, mais c'est truc de connard. La marée prend son temps.
I believe it's following a pattern set millions of years ago by cosmic forces. But I suppose it could move quicker, yes?
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
Si vous devez choisir un camp entre les grévistes et sociétés de transport, que choisirez-vous?
Luckily, I am already a member of an independent organization, and therefore do not have to choose between a rock and a hard place.
Et si quelqu'un vous mettait un pistolet sur la tempe?
Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
C'est sur les yeux, c'est un numéro sur le côté?
Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
Sans anarchie, ouais. Ça doit être, oh non, ça doit être le poste 41, c'est ma bagnole. Oh non. Oh. T'as pas district quelque chose de municipal ou faut-elle les temples ennemis
A precinct, yes. A police precinct. Precinct 41, your precinct.
A massive pit opens up in your stomach, and the most terrible feeling comes over you. You feel like you're about to faint and fall off the swing. Your hands get clammy, and the air tastes sour to breathe.
J'ai planté ma bagnole, putain.
Oh God, Harry. Oh God, Harry. What did you do? No. Just nope. Say no to this, Harry.
No,
Yes, your car is in the sea. Face it, so we can start dealing with this.
Oh mon dieu, c'est vrai que conduire voiture dans la mer.
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you drove your police motor carriage into the sea, after you jumped across the canal.
Ils vont pas me reprendre après ça, n'est-ce pas?
People are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more costly.
People, yes, but not
Un
you.
signe, l'arme, et maintenant ça.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything. There is also a fourth thing you've lost.
Mon honneur?
More precious than the gun, the badge, and the motor carriage combined. Lost forever. Into the deepest.
Peut-être que je peux chercher quelqu'un.
Of whom? I don't think so. If anything, you were probably drunk.
Merci, Kim.
Probably. Try definitely.
Comment on fait pour la dégager?
Detective, we don't. A rescue operation really isn't viable at this point.
Elle va rester ici comme ça.
I'm afraid it will have to be there like that for many years. Look at it. Parts of it might be salvageable, but overall, this machine is a write-off.
Je peux toujours l'appareil.
That is very unlikely. All the electrics are toast. That goes for the electromagnetic steering and brake systems as well. You'd be lucky to find one undamaged component in there. In a few months, there will be nothing but rust left of this vehicle. It'll be cheaper to buy a new one. Well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 real. But in the long run, it still makes more sense to buy a new machine than try to refurbish this.
40 000? Les gens vont être en colère, au moins, n'est-ce pas?
Let's face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean, my station only has 4 other vehicles in addition to my kinema.
Au moins, je vais voir ce qu'il y a dedans maintenant. Ah.
Yes, let's go take a look.
Hop.
Rigorous self-critique.
Autocritique rigoureuse, super.
Here it is. Hard facts from the man you are. You once jerked off in the locker room and were caught. You held a young woman by the arm and kept her in your apartment for 20 minutes against her will. That's right. These are not flights of fancy. These are real deeds, Harry, emerging from the darkness of your past. You tried shooting a fleeing suspect in the foot, but hit him in the pelvis, crippling him for life. And, above all, you let life defeat you. All the gifts your parents gave you, all the love and patience of your friends, you drowned in a neurotoxin. You let misery win, and it will keep on winning till you die, or overcome it.
Je suis une merde, d'accord, je vais juste fermer les volets, je reviens, c'est aberrant. Le personnage d'Harry me dépite. Bonus. Lancé rouge raté de l'intelligence de psy octroie un moral de plus 1. Lancé rouge raté de vigueur et morale. Un besoin de santé. Le seuil d'apprentissage, j'ai pas 6, ok. Ouais, c'est toujours bien. Hop. Ah, un signe. Inspectez l'objet d'inventaire, du bouton interagir. Super. J'ai retrouvé mon insigne. C'est déjà ça. Inspectez l'objet, interagir.
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
J'ai trouvé mon insigne.
At least something good came out of all this.
Examiner.
Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and, in the lower right corner, your precinct. The man keeps winking at you with his green-grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. Good choice. A newer photo would look different. 8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good-looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns.
Pourquoi fait-il un clin d'œil?
What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it does on you now. It looks better on him because he isn't in as much pain while producing it as you are now. Although there's already a hint of that pain, certainly. Don't be fooled. The bad times have already begun. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it.
Harrier. That's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't.
Donc la personne qui... C'est quoi ce prénom? Harry.
It's a wartime name. Revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times. Like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
It's meant to keep you safe. From bullets, hunger, shrapnel, kidnappings, and worse.
Bien. Harry Dubois, soit.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
He's not going to call you Harrier. He'll keep calling you officer when he's angry with you, and detective when he's not. The badge in your hands shines as you rotate it, catching light.
Lieutenant W. Freighter.
C'est quoi un lieutenant double effratoire?
The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant.
Lieutenant double effratoire?
The title of Yefreighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're double Yefreighter.
Ah, je suis vraiment une merde, j'ai décliné.
There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's decomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors, out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank, in your case, lieutenant.
Heavy-duty case-solving machine.
Quoi un décomptage?
Decomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol Citizens Militia. It means counting down to twos. The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, and then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kings. Kings like satellite officers and the additional Yefreighter rank I already explained.
The long and short of it is, you're his superior.
Seconde des agents supérieurs satellites.
You are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite.
Donc vous avez supporté toutes mes conneries parce que je suis votre supérieur.
No, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, you are doing good police work.
Ah, du bon travail.
It matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even found your badge.
Still, he doesn't trust you completely. Such a small yet precious thing, expensive.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
Date de mission 7 novembre 50.
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter.
Ok, donc c'est à ce moment-là que j'ai refusé le double...
A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
The pain in your chest tells you were working yourself to death to earn that rank. The case created a lot of edge you have to take off. The death march really gets us going. A lot can happen in 4 months, especially in winter. The winters are never easy on you.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41. Like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor. A lot of asphalt. The 41st is... It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is.
It's no wonder you are like you are, he thinks.
But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiaeva.
Hop. Ok.
And you? Is it an honor to work with you? Don't ask him, ask yourself. The badge in your hand shines.
Ok, bon, j'ai un assigne et vêtements. Esprit de corps, projection analytique. Ouais, on va prendre ça plutôt. Hop. Bouteille complètement vide. Putain, je suis sur toutes les bouteilles là, c'est à moi ça, putain. Comprendre de panache, je s'éloigne de l'accident. Ouais, 100% c'est moi qui me suis mais défoncé la gueule. Genre. Parti à faire la coque et intéressamment goudronné. Cabane de pêcheur, ok. Pierre aiguisé, couvert de rouille. Matériel de construction, ok. Hop. Non, t'es tiré, impossible de voir l'intérieur.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder.
You can revisit the bench, if you...
Ok. Par contre, quand il y a un feuille de fortune dans les magazines pour allumer. Ok. Ah non, on va pas aller là, on va déjà visiter ça. Hop. Ici, intérieur. Ouais, il y a des draps couverts à poussière, chips séchés sur lui. Pantalon intérieur, plus un au rythme de la conscience. Alors.
These are some wonderfully regular pants. Not too tight, not too loose, moderate in every sense. You'll blend right in at some pleasant dinner party.
J'aime les choses ordinaires normales.
I know you do. These Inter-Estellari pants are like wearing a perfect compromise in your nether regions. No one will call the moral intern on you like this. You're a little more moralist now, buddy. A little more normal.
Fonder le centre politique cette fois, ok. Ok.
Makes sense. This is what wearing boring office trousers does to you.
Ok. Une voie de vie au nord, une planche. Ok. On pourra enfin commencer le quartier des pêcheurs. Hop. Des sous. Verrouillé. Vous avez sur cet endroit. Moi qu'elle parle.
Hi, officer.
Femme perméable se tient qui est aussi retournée. Elle porte la boîte une épée dans son fourreau.
Anything I can help you with?
Comme toujours, je suis le faiseur de la loi. Ça dépend. Composé convention, quel est votre nom?
The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions. What are the other ones?
Ask her about the cool sword. Helps to break the ice.
Cherche quelqu'un, pouvez-vous peut-être m'aider?
Let's see. Who are you looking for?
Je recherche de cryptozoologues disparus.
I don't think I know what these
Des gens qui
are.
recherchent des animaux imaginaires.
Aha! Like snowmen.
Des tiges, j'en ai jamais entendu
Two
parler.
old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like.
Seconde, qu'est-ce que vous voulez dire des autres trucs du genre? Où sont-ils passés?
I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen?
Tout, je ne cherche personne d'autre.
Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
Que faites-vous par ici?
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff.
Vous gagnez bien votre vie?
Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises.
This is what is called a conversation. You don't have to be guarded right now.
Intéressant, qu'avez-vous trouvé?
Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see dead bodies. Human, animal, fish, other odd sea creatures. A mine washed ashore once. Bottles, drugs also. Lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just wood and glass.
Mines. You need mines.
Mine, elle pourrait être utile à MCR Software.
Well, the RCM has to wait for another one, because some army folks came by, took it in the middle of the bay and blew it up.
Sympa votre épée.
The glass was surprisingly timid for such a huge spiky thing.
Sympa votre épée. Montrez le sabre sur sa manche, c'est quoi? C'est son histoire.
Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly.
Et comment l'utiliser?
Not really. I know some basic moves, and I know it sure as hell beats a knife when you're in a tough spot.
On impose.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy, just for intimidation.
Pourquoi avez-vous besoin de tactique d'intimidation?
From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time.
Peux-vous emprunter cette épée?
No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these animals in check? You would put me in an early grave.
She refuses, but your word is the law. You are law.
Pourquoi les autres femmes n'utilisent pas plus cette méthode c'est efficace?
What makes you think we haven't? The truth is that almost everyone in this life is scared and tired and stupid and too dull for that. That goes for men too. But they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like anyone falls for that.
That does not go for real men. It does not go for you. Show her. Show her the wonder.
Ouais, la plupart des gens que j'ai rencontrés ont peur.
Aye. No one wants to talk about how frightened they are. But only frightened people are really dangerous. And plenty of them are dangerous.
She's not afraid, however. Does that make her not dangerous?
Se trouvent les hommes.
Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying.
Où est votre mari?
Gone.
Parti où ça?
To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago.
Mais condoléances, que s'est-il
Who
passé?
knows? Maybe he fell over. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. The bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with...
She really likes those muscles, though. It's in the way she pronounces sinewy.
Pas de meilleur remède au chagrin que le temps, n'est-ce pas?
Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Est-ce qu'il montrait le bateau retourné?
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue.
Alors, est-ce que c'est elle qu'on demande journal? Alors, attends, j'ai un point en plus à mettre? Non, j'ai pas de point de talent en plus. Tenir la signature pour avoir... Isabelle Lyon décide une fois que vous avez la signature, envoyez les documents comptables. Va te la toquer. On m'a demandé d'obtenir votre signature.
For you? This says by signing, I agree to living with construction noise. What exactly is the union building?
Camarade prévoit de transformer une partie du village en centre d'animation jeunesse.
What a nice idea. Wouldn't have thought that Evrart and the Union have nice plans for anything. I thought they only cared about themselves. Well, I guess Union members have children too.
Alors, vous voulez bien signer?
Aye. Why not? Fine. Here you go.
Oui, papillon, pourquoi avez-vous signé?
I shouldn't have.
Les centres d'animation jeunesse, c'est une bonne chose de signer.
That's what I asked you. It's a youth centre, and I have children. Got to give them something else to do. They're cute and small now, but they're growing up fast. I had my first drink when I was 11 because I was so bored. Anyhow, you also need Isabel's signature. If it's a bad idea, she won't sign. You'll find she's a tougher nut to crack than me. Oh? Well, how can I assist you?
Ok. Perception. Est-ce que les bots sont meilleurs que mode d'accession en direct? Si jamais j'ai besoin de perception, je prendrai. Tu vas dériver à flat fibolier, ok. Ok, y a rien ici de plus. Hop. Putain, on entendait les crépitements chaleureux d'un appareil de chauffage.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Si vous ne pouvez pas voir, comment vous avez su que j'étais ici?
I still have a golden ear. Come, come.
C'est approché.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
Mes collègues ont raison. Les flics, on ne fait pas d'enduit, on y avait dit.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
Qu'est-ce que vous dites? Je suis déjà venu ici?
No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another, locked himself in that woodshed over there. He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place. Somewhere more quiet.
Quel genre de mauvais présage?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own
présage.
heels.
Pourquoi personne ne m'a jamais rien dit?
Maybe they are afraid.
Pourquoi?
Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then. Because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage. And not a lot of houses. Or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
Est-ce que je pourrais trouver me loger dans le village?
Stay? Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack.
Je ne sais pas si je peux me permettre de payer un autre quand même pour la chambre.
I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM.
Let's go, plus besoin de payer. Mais vous me laissez juste comme ça?
No one is using it, and God knows it's not much anyway. You can stay there.
Vous ne croyez pas que c'est un peu déplacé de la part de la messière d'accepter un logement gratuit?
Oh, don't. It's your choice.
Personne
No
n'utilise la
skin
chambre.
off my teeth. My kids grew up and left like they do. The house is long empty now. I live in the small side attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep warm.
Pétez encore une fois, vous pouvez pas me laisser la chambre. Vous venez de gagner un locataire, récupérez les clés de votre nouvelle maison.
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
He's a little relieved you're no longer in that room. Should he? This environment encourages one thing, and one thing only.
Qu'y a-t-il
Drinking.
dans ce village de pêcheurs?
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist. This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
Ah, ça manque quelque chose ici, dites-moi tout.
Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox.
Between here and Jamrock, a dusty sea of old trees, all covered in industrial soot. Small houses under them, an overgrown park.
La peste, c'est quoi ça?
An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens.
Ok, ouais.
Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses. Shacks as far as the eye can see.
Qu'est-il arrivé à l'hôpital?
The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now.
Qui d'autre vit dans ce village?
Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east, but they are away right now.
Bon, mais ils ne sont pas chez eux, ok.
And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them.
J'ai rencontré Liliane.
Lillian is tough. Tougher than the men here, at least. If it wasn't for her and the kids, this place wouldn't have a spark of life left.
Ah oui, d'accord. J'ai pas encore rencontré les ivrognes.
Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. Don't have to look long to find these guys.
Comment on peut se faire de l'argent dans le coin?
Here, for you, no officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about.
MDR, les alcooliques qui oublient leur argent, super, c'est ça que je ramasse. Très bien, je voudrais aborder un autre sujet.
She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a le long de la côte?
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the Dolorian Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even.
Pourquoi a-t-elle abandonnée?
Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church.
She's not telling you all she knows. Keep her talking.
J'ai le sentiment que vous ne me dites pas tout. Qu'y a-t-il d'autre?
Well, there's that music. Music from across the sea. Huh. It started a few days ago, and now it's blasting, even through the nights. And now, suspicious-looking people are sneaking around the church. I don't like that.
Perhaps the mysterious music is somehow connected to the case. A Rusalka, or a half-demonic Apsara singing.
Que peut-on trouver en bas de la côte?
Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty.
Autre chose intéressante.
Of note, the old fish market up on the boardwalk, but it's closed.
Et c'est tout, rien d'autre sur le long de la côte?
What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity,
Finistère.
You can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. We tried to get in, see if there was anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast.
Parlez-moi de vous, qui êtes-vous?
Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr.
Lieutenant double, il a fait 3 arrière du bois.
Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double.
Ouais.
She's got a couple of ranks herself. Honored chief and so on.
On m'a demandé de vous faire signer ce document, lui donner. Attends voir. Merci, ce sera tout pour. Attends voir. Je vais parler déjà.
The precarious world.
Monde précaire.
How not to lose? It is impossible not to. The world is balanced on the edge of a knife. It's a game of frayed nerves. You're pushed on by numbers and punitive measures, pain, rejection, and unpaid bills. You can either play, or you can crawl under a boat and waste away, turn into salt, or a flock of seagulls. Your enemies would love that. Or you can fight. The only way to load the dice is to keep on fighting.
Okay. C'est le succès et l'échec critique réduit de 1. Ok, c'est bien. J'ai envie de voir interagir.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 4.
I'm no property lawyer.
The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently.
Tant pis. Il faudra que je mette un point dans la logique pour essayer
Our
de regarder.
tenant, the policeman.
On m'a demandé de vous faire signer
I
ce
hope
document.
Eh? What's this about? Come now, I can't read all this scribble. Tell me what it says.
Evard veut transformer une partie du village en petite centre d'animation de jeunesse.
Huh. I might be half blind, but it looks like part of the village is gonna be a street. The best part. The part we need to get out of our houses. I see Lillian's name is already here. The girl is too trusting. Either way, I won't sign union papers.
Quoi votre problème avec le syndicat?
I've seen it all before. You think they've got our interests at heart? Rich men are always selling poor men promises they never plan to keep. Then the poor get pushed out of their homes and the rich get a little richer. That's the way it goes. So, no, I don't trust the fat man, and neither should you.
She speaks with the authority of a leader. Hers is the final word around here. She is headstrong, but there's a slight hesitation in there. You may be able to convince her. Logic and reason won't work on this old bat. Better go for shameless emotional manipulation. What's the grandmother's deepest vulnerability? Does this feel like a good thing, though?
Qu'arrivera-t-il aux enfants?
What do you mean? What's going to happen? They are gonna grow up, of course. I raised my own kids in this village, and they are doing fine for themselves.
Vous devez être vraiment être fier d'eux.
Aye, they are good kids. I brought them up the right way.
Ils vivent encore ici?
No, they moved to Faubourg for work.
Que feront les enfants de Liliane en grandissant après vous?
Well, I imagine they'll grow up and leave too.
You've got her. Now just realize
Then,
you have her. Now twist the knife.
C'est horrible.
Wait. Let her come to it herself.
Arriver d'elle-même à la conclusion, ne rien dire.
I don't believe the Fat Man's Youth Center is going to change anything. But what other choice do we have? It's not like the coalition government is coming to save us. I won't be around much longer anyway. Not with the dampness in my bones. If they want to take a chance, who am I to stop them?
Ce sont de penser aux enfants, ce sont la priorité.
Aye, we do. We do. But how do we do that?
Alors, vous allez signer les papiers pour les enfants, lui tendre le document.
Fine.
Puis inscrire son nom sur la ligne de pointure en retard.
See that you didn't just get us all screwed. I might be half blind, but I have a good memory for treachery.
Let's go mail it.
He's not dissatisfied with you, but with himself.
Faites à propos de ce document ouvert, prévoit vous faire dégager à coup de bruit de travaux.
Huh? I like to see him try. If anything, I am gonna muscle him out with...
She doesn't seem surprised by this sudden twist.
Get out of here, trying to ruin my day. And that youth center better be a good one, or you'll have trouble from me.
Comment ça faire vous?
I wield an army of drunks. Do not underestimate the effect of such a force, if it's pointed to the right direction.
Ok, ça tout. Hop là. Ok, bon, moi on aura les lettres. J'ai envie de la garder jusqu'à ce que j'ai un point dans la logique pour voir s'il n'y a pas une ligne de merde dedans pour éviter de la remettre à Evart. Ah, j'ai le dos qui craque. Ah. Bon, on va s'arrêter là pour aujourd'hui. On aura bien avancé, ça fait plaisir. On aura enfin accédé à l'écluse. Un peu plus sur l'enquête. On aura eu notre dé. À 21h, il faudra aller voir le fumeur. Il faudra explorer aussi tout le quartier des pêcheurs. Mais ça, on fera la prochaine fois, du coup. En vrai, c'est vraiment cool, le jeu. En vrai, j'apprécie fortement. Hop. Juste mettre ça sur le côté. On va aller faire un petit raid avant d'arrêter. Hop. Hop là. Comme ça, je vais pouvoir aller modérer un stream en allant manger et me reposer. Ce sera parfait. Hop. C'est nickel. S'il y avait encore du monde, je vous dis bonne fin d'après-midi, bonne soirée, bon appétit. Demain, on continuera en faisant sûrement une run de Risk of Rain. On continuera après Disco Elysium. En attendant, je vous dis des bisous. À la prochaine. Et puis, so long. Allez hop, lancez le raid. Hop là. Parfait. Hop là, arrêtez le stream.